What is up? What is up, Kryptonians? It's your boy Superfan K here, and on today's episode, we are debuting the Secret Origin segment of my show. I got two awesome guests here with me today. Captain Dingus, you may know him from some of the editing on some of my videos. None of this would be possible without this man here. And this is Magnus / I'm Batman. He's got his own content. You should check him out too. Today, we are going to be ranking all 7 Superman movies. That's live action movies, just to get any disclaimers out of the way, in order from least greatest to greatest. There have been 7 movies that Superman's been a part of, going all the way back to 1978, and we're going to rank all of them. So for any Superman fans out there who are interested to see how we think about what the order is, just stay tuned, watch this video, and let us know what you guys think afterward. Without further ado, let's get started. Captain Dingus, what is your least favorite Superman movie of all time, number 7? Go ahead.
First off and foremost, I would like to address everybody that does like this Superman film. It's Returns. I refuse to call it Superman Returns. It is Returns. Simply Returns. It is not a Superman film. It is the film that we all waited for so long to finally hit the big screen. And when it did, what the fuck did we get? We get a fucking Superman that just flies around with a fucking island, and the most awesome scene he has is a fucking airplane scene. And everybody gives it excuses for that one airplane scene. Oh, he's got that awesome airplane. What the fuck? Who gives a shit? It's an airplane. A fucking airplane. We could have saw Wonder Woman do the same shit. Hell, Supergirl could have been in this film and done the same thing, and it'd have been just as awesome. But I digress. First one is Returns. My second film would be, of course, Superman Quest for Peace, the fourth one. Superman 3, then Superman, the second movie. The first one, first Superman film from the 80s, or was it the 70s? The Richard Donner cut. Next would be, Man of Steel. And then, last but not least, BVS. Most awesome film in the franchise.
Oh, Magnus, what do you have to say about it?
My least favorite has to be Superman 4. With Pryor, I mean, God rest his soul. But
No. That's Superman 3. I think you're thinking about Superman 3.
Superman 4, Quest for Peace, or you say Quest for Shit. I tolerate Superman Returns. I mean, Bryan Singer did direct the film, but he directed the X-Men films. But I'm just saying, just give it a little credit. They did the best they could. Lane was hot, right? Huh? No?
I don't know what you want us to say to that. That's
okay.
Plenty of women hot.
All right. Well,
Hell, Catwoman was hot. Halle Berry.
I don't that shit. Hey, this is let's not contaminate the view. This is a Superman video. Okay, don't bring any of that negativity in here.
All right. Superman 2, and I gotta say Man of Steel.
What number is that again?
Huh?
Man of Steel. Is that like your second favorite all time?
Man of Steel, yeah, it's like my third favorite. Then after that, Superman 2. Number 1 has to be Batman v Superman because of obviously Batman. I'm Batman is the answer for everything.
Yeah, sure.
Moving forward.
Those are not bad lists. I think our lists are all different, though. I think we all got different reasons why. All right, so my least favorite Superman movie is A Quest for Peace. I'm sorry, but anybody that knows or doesn't know, that's my worst rating for any movie that I give. That's because to me, Superman A Quest for Peace is the biggest piece of shit Superman movie or otherwise that's been made in the last 20 to 30 years. It's an abomination, it's an atrocity, it's a travesty, it's horrible, it's awful, it stinks, it stinks, it's fucking awful. There's nothing good about it, nothing. I mean, it's got stupid humor, the story is stupid. Basically, Lex Luthor steals Superman's hair, shoots it into the sun, and out comes Nuclear Man. And Nuclear Man has a crush on a girl like, ooh, I like that girl. And it's just fucking stupid. They're just on the moon going like this and grabbing each other. Yeah,
well,
fucking stupid.
It came out back in the day.
I don't care when it came out. The other movies had way better effects.
Yeah.
This movie, the effects were just off, like they weren't even trying. They gave up. They didn't even try. Fuck Superman A Quest for Peace. Number 6, I'd go with Superman 3, honestly. Superman 3 is almost as bad as Superman 4. The only difference really is it's a little bit more campy, I guess. It's a little bit more of like, this is one of the first Superman movies that tried to go like extreme into the like, camp. You know what I'm saying? Like really cartoony, over the top, stupid humor. I can barely even remember the story. I know Richard Pryor was in it. I know he was like some kind of computer hacker. There's some kind of computer villain in the movie. Lex Luthor again is in the movie for no reason, and Superman basically has to fight himself in a junkyard at the end. Now that scene was actually kind of cool, but it doesn't excuse the rest of the movie, which is it sucks. Number 5, I'd have to go with Superman Returns. Honestly, look, I was as excited as anybody to see Superman Returns. I get it, all your points with the movie. It's legit. I get it. It's a big issue.
It's a ripoff.
Yes.
It's a whole fucking ripoff.
They did the best
But
they could.
I gotta look at it as a film.
What?
As a
When Oscar winning Kevin Spacey was an Oscar winner.
Oh my god! For that versus for Returns?
no.
He was. He won an Oscar.
For Returns?
Not for Returns.
Oh, okay.
Moving on, Superman Returns. I'm just judging it as a film. As a film, I think it's okay. I think it's a decent film. It's got decent special effects. It's got, the acting performances aren't great, but they're not horrible either. They're just okay. From a visual standpoint and from everywhere else, I think direction-wise it's fine. But everything else kind of falls flat about the movie. It's like the first Superman movie in this modern-day millennium, and I kind of wanted to see like a fresh take on Superman, and even though they had it set in the same time period as the other Superman movies, I was kind of like, okay, but modern technology, and we've already done the Lex Luthor thing today. Oh wait, Lex Luthor's going to be in the movie?
And
And guess what he is in this one?
hey, I forgot. Didn't Superman get beat up by Kumar?
That I probably should have Superman Returns ranked lower, but I'm trying to be objective and rank it as a film, so it's a bad Superman movie, but it's not a bad film overall, so I'm going to leave it at number 5. Number 4, I'm probably going to go with Superman the movie. It was the first, it was the original. It's a great Superman movie. Christopher Reeve was great as Superman. As soon as he stepped on the screen as Superman, he owned it. The most iconic portrayal of Superman of all time, in my opinion. The movie itself, it's a pretty good movie. There are some things about it that are dated, obviously. The special effect, it's a little dated. But for nostalgic purposes, I can still pop that movie in and have a really good time with it. It's a very good origin movie. And honestly, without the success of that first Superman movie, like if we didn't believe that a man could fly like they had on the poster, I don't think we would have had some of the success that we had with comic book movies later. I don't think Warner Brothers would have been bold enough to try Batman in 1989. They springboarded that off of the success of the Superman movies. And that all started with Superman the movie, so I got to give credit for that. For 3, I'd go with Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut. The Richard Donner cut, it's a really great Superman movie because number 1, we finally get to see Superman fight somebody. He fights Zod, and he fights the Kryptonians. And I like the fact that they laid the seed for that in the first movie, and then they followed up on that in the second movie, and we got to see that. We also see Superman go through a little bit more of a struggle in this movie. He is a god who wants to be a human, and he wants to give up his powers. The scene where he gets his ass kicked in that bar is like heartbreaking. If you're a Superman fan, it's like a really hard scene to watch. But it's a great scene too because it shows Superman at his most vulnerable, and it shows that what makes him a hero, that was a really, really good thing for them to do in that movie. So I'd probably put I like the Richard Donner cut honestly a little bit more than the first Superman movie, but it's no diss to the first Superman movie. I just kind of prefer that one, better. At number 2, this is really tough because you guys obviously should be able to figure out which 2 are left. I'm going to go Batman v Superman at number 2. I think Batman v Superman was a great Superman movie, and it's great for the same reason that a lot of people don't like it. People look at Superman, and Superman himself got trashed in the movie. Like, he got his ass kicked a couple of times, he got criticized, he got vilified, but I kind of think that's the point that they were trying to show, is that there are consequences to being a hero, even a hero as powerful as Superman who was to do good. The point of the movie was to show Superman going through something, going through a struggle. Put it this way, guys, in the original Star Wars trilogy, was Luke Skywalker the Jedi he was supposed to be in the first or second movie? No. He had to develop, he had to go through struggles, he had to fall, he had to fail before he came to be the Luke that we saw in Return of the Jedi, and hopefully the one that we see next year in Episode 8.
Character arcs.
Yeah, right, character arcs. So that's what I'm saying. This movie, it puts you through a character arc for Superman, and I thought that was pretty cool. I loved Batman in the movie. I thought the movie had great visuals. I thought the dialogue was great. It had some of the most iconic comic book imagery. Like, if you've read the comics or graphic novels, there are scenes in that movie that are ripped directly off the pages that just, as a fan, it just excited me. It's not a flawless movie. It's got a lot of problems, but I personally really enjoyed Batman v Superman, and I can't wait to see where they go with it next. That's my second favorite Superman movie of all time, Man of Steel. I could watch Man of Steel endlessly for the rest of my life and
The
not
way
get tired of
Returns
it.
should have been.
Right. And one, it's another great Superman origin. We get to see some more of Krypton, which we didn't really get to see in the older movies, but the biggest reason is they finally showed Superman doing something. Like, Superman Returns, again, this is the problem I had. Like, if you're going to be away for 20 years, have Superman come back and actually have real problems to deal with. Have him have something bigger happen to him than Lex Luthor breaking out of prison for the 1500th time.
I mean, shouldn't
and
the villains
creating
be running
another
the world like at this
right?
point?
There was so much potential in that story that they didn't tap into. In Man of Steel, we finally get to see a story that has some potential. We see Superman actually get to throw down. It's the first time in this millennium, or any millennium really, with modern day special effects, that we've seen Superman actually throw down and get in a fight and kick some ass.
And destroy half of the city in the process.
Yes, and kill thousands of people. But he also saved billions of people, so we give him a little bit of a pass for that. The movie's not perfect. It's got flaws, just like Batman v Superman does. But in terms of a Superman movie, this is the one I've always wanted to see. This is the one I was excited for. It's the one that delivered the most on what I thought they were going to deliver. As soon as I saw the trailers, I was like, oh man, that's great. And Henry Cavill as Superman kills it. He's like, in my opinion, he's the best. What blasphemy.
Yeah.
But Henry Cavill to me is a great Superman. I think he's the best Superman since Reeve. And I think he has a chance to be better than Reeve when it's all said and done. He brings a different take to it, a little bit more humanity. He had the same expression on his face in Man of Steel flying that I would have if I figured out one day that I could fly. I mean, overall, Man of Steel, it's got some of the best action sequences of any comic book movie. It's got a great Superman origin. It's got good acting. It's got a great score. Oh my God, I could listen to that score all day too. And Man of Steel, for me, is the best Superman movie. And I don't think you guys don't really have a huge issue with that, right?
What? Man of Steel being first?
I mean, like, you had Batman v Superman. I think you had what? You had Batman v Superman. Yeah. You could flip
for obvious reasons,
Yeah,
of course.
either way.
You should
Man
be
of Steel,
disqualified from this conversation.
completely.
You're just here for Batman.
But Man of Steel,
Go make your own goddamn video with Batman.
That was the makeup movie for Returns. That was like this is what everybody wanted. I remember sitting in the theater when Returns, and like the guy next to me looks at me, and I look at him, and he's just got the same look in his face, and he's just like, "Man, this is shit."
That's
like,
right.
I mean,
I was 13 when Superman Returns came out.
Why are we seeing Superman actually do something?
Yeah, I was in the theater. Like there were a couple people in front of me that fell asleep. There were a couple people that were to the left of me that were asleep. The guy right to the right of me, I was a kid, but he was just looked around and he was just like, "The fuck is this shit?"
Yeah, I saw this movie. I didn't see this movie in theaters.
I did.
I was
disappointed.
I saw it first day.
It's a good thing though.
First day.
I tried to watch this movie when I was growing up, and I kept falling asleep on it. I didn't watch the bits and pieces. It took me a week to watch a full movie. It was just boring as hell.
No, but you give him a pass.
My father liked
I
it,
get his
so
issues with the movie. This man has serious hatred in his heart for Superman Returns. It burns brighter than any fire
copy
it
should
could.
burn in the world.
Yes, he wants to burn every copy in the world. But
You know how they both have their ratings. Mine is fan-forstic for worst movies. That movie is fan-forstic bad.
Oh,
Or
God.
Dragon Ball Evolution. That's
Hey, come on. We're getting into blasphemous.
Well, yeah,
territory.
come
Come on. Hey. Jeans, what the fuck?
I can take them all out with one hand.
All right, different video. Either way, that is our thoughts. Those are our rankings on the Superman movies. All my Kryptonians out there, comment, like, share. Let us know what you think. If you agree with the rankings, what are your rankings for the best Superman movies of all time? Again, this is Captain Dingus, one of the best editors I know. Actually, the best editor that I do know. Without him, none of this is possible. Yeah, self-promotion. And this is Omagnus / I'm Batman. You should check out some of his stuff. He just posted a review of X-Men Apocalypse. Go check it out. He's got some really funny stuff coming up on his channel. As always, guys, if you like what you see, tell me how you feel, and stay tuned to hear more from the Man of Steel. Peace.
And hair love and hair grease.
Best friends that anyone can have. We're the
Hey, you
three
can't have
best
this here.
friends that anyone can have. And we'll never, ever leave each other. We're the best three friends that anybody can have. I mean the three best friends that anybody can have. That's right, the three best